Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be learning how I made this shawl collar dress. It's a wrap dress. So if this is what you're interested in, you can stay true to the end of the video. This video covers the pattern drafting for this dress. Okay, at the cutting table I have my pattern paper which I'll be using to draft. The first thing I'll be drafting is the back piece, because the back piece is without the wrap, so that is what we'll be drafting first before we draft the wrap at the front. I've gone ahead to mark 1.5 inch at the top of the paper, because the back piece is usually longer than the front, so that is the purpose for that 1.5 inch allowance, and we'll see how it works towards as the video continues. Next thing I'm marking is my armhole length. The formula for calculating your armhole length is your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, and you take that measurement from 1.5 inch line you've marked. I've marked my half cut and I have 2.5 inch allowance after the half cut. I'm just going ahead to repeat the marking so I have a straight line. Remember your armhole length, your half cut length, and 2.5 inch allowance after the half cut. Okay, so I've gone ahead to mark my shoulder, and I have 1/2 inch allowance added at the shoulder. Then I'm dividing my armhole length by 2. As you can see, that is half of my armhole length is properly marked, which I'll use to carve out my armhole. I have a straight line marked, and then I'll be using my pattern ruler to carve out my armhole. This is the back piece, and that is why you have the armhole as so. Then I'm taking 1/2 inch at the center back. This does not have a zipper allowance, so that 1/2 inch we are taking out helps to eliminate this bulge you have at the back of the dress. Next thing, my bust measurement divided by 4 is what I have. I added 1.5 inch allowance. The same thing at my the allowance for my half cut, my under bust divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch allowance. Then I'm going ahead to mark my dart, 4 inches from the center back, and then I took it by a height of 7 inches. So I have 4 inches, and then I went 1/2 inch on both sides to create my dart. Yes, so you see I have it neatly marked out, and I'm just going ahead to replace the dart allowance I took, and then I've gone ahead to connect my markings. Remember, at the under bust, do not forget to replace 1/2 inch for the dart allowance, which is what I placed there. And then drafting for the back is almost done. The next thing is to mark the neck. I marked the neck width at 3.5 and gave it a depth of 1.5, so the 1.5 just lands at the line I drew initially, as you can see. Okay, so please subscribe to my channel if you haven't for more amazing content. Do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos. I'm going ahead to create my shoulder slant. Okay, as you can see, do not worry about the markings I have there. You know, I initially considered, at some point I considered using 2.5 inches, but I just stuck with 3.5 inches for the neck width, and it came out just fine. Okay, so I connected my shoulder slant, as you can see, and I'm going ahead to cut out the back piece. Yes, it's very simple, and you just stay tuned. You see the way we cut out the front. Like I said earlier, please subscribe, like this video. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section, and feel free to share. turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos. Yeah, look at that. That was what I did initially, but I later corrected it and used the 3.5-inch neck width. Okay, so just take note of that as the video continues. I'm going ahead to I got another pattern paper to mark out my front piece, and this time I just marked out 1/2 inch allowance. Now this 1/2 inch allowance is going to serve as the joining allowance. Now I started marking from 3/4 of my tape, which was what I tried showing us earlier. I started marking my front piece at 3/4 of my tape. Remember that the back is longer than the front at 1.5 inch. Divided by 2 gives you that 3/4. So that is where I started my tape from. I took my armhole length from 3/4 of my tape, placing at that 1/2 inch length, and that is what I'm going to do. That's the point I'm going to be taking all my markings from, as we marked in the front. As so. Now what I'm going ahead to do is to mark out 6.5 inches for the wrap. Now because the client needs the wrap to like wrap very well, that's why I'm using 6.5 inches. A normal wrap or an average wrap can use 5 inches, even 4 inches, depending on your preference, but I use 6.5 inches. So whatever it is you want to use, feel free to do that. So I just extended my line at the shoulder. Okay, so my markings will begin from that 6.5 inch that I marked there as so. Now you can see, if you zoom into the video, you see that I'm taking all my markings, the armhole length, the half cut, and the 2.5 inch allowance. I'm taking it from 3/4 inches. Okay, yes. So I'm going ahead to mark out the lines. That's my 2.5 inch allowance, and I'm marking it out. As you can see, that is my half cut and the 2.5 inch allowance, and then that is my armhole. I'm taking my shoulder measurement plus 1/2 inch allowance, and then I'm coming at the same thing I did for the back. The only difference is that I have it from 3/4 inches, dividing my armhole length by 2, and just watch the way I took the armhole for the front. Okay, for the front, at the middle point, I came out by 1/2 inch. Yes, and then I curved the armhole as so. Remember, for the back, I did not come out by 1/2 inch because the front bodice is usually bigger. The front armhole is usually smaller than the back, so that is why we have it as so. And then I'm going ahead to take my dart 4 inches from that 6.5 inch line I gave, go in by 1/2 inch, and then for the front I gave it a height of 4 inches, and then I'll go ahead and connect my dart. As so. Okay, so my dart is carved out as so, and you can see that neatly carved out. Okay, so I'm going ahead to mark my measurements. My underbust divided by 4. For the half cut and the allowance area, I replaced my dart allowance, and for the bust measurement, I just divided it by 4 and put my 1.5 inch allowance, and I am connecting the lines as so. Now the same thing I did for the front. The neck width, I used 3.5 inches, and then I have a neck depth of 7 inches. Okay, so remember, the front depth is 7 inches, and the neck width remains 3.5 inches. So I'm just extending that line. That's the line for my wrap. So at the neck, I told us I corrected it to 3.5 inches. I initially wanted to make it smaller, but I decided to maintain 3.5 inches, and like I said earlier, it came out fine. So I'm connecting from that point to the neck depth, and from that neck depth of 7 inches down to the wrap. Okay, as so that's what we have here. Now I need to make an extension up, so I just cut about 5 inches height of paper, and then just attached it to the pattern, and you will see how I did that. Okay, I just used my seal tape to attach that extra piece to the pattern, because I'll need an extension up. Okay, so you see what that is for. Okay, so I went ahead and took my back piece and measured the neck round. As you can see, yes, I just used my tape to measure, and I got 4 inches. That will serve as my extension. So at that point, I marked 4 inches upwards. Okay, and I'm going to connect a straight line as so from that neck width up until that 4 inches. Okay, that is what I'm going to do. Yes, I have it as so, and then I came out by half of an inch. Okay, and I connected it to the neck width of the front. And so I want the size of my collar to be 3.5 inches. So that is what I'm doing. I'm connecting 3.5 inches, just like the style of collar we see. It's not shawl all the way. At that down point, it's slimmer. Okay, so that is what I'm just trying to determine. At the midpoint, I still mark 3.5 inches, and so I'll just connect it all the way through the down, to give me the shape of the collar that we have in the thumbnail. As you can see, it's just blending in. Okay, it's not a shawl, it's not extended all the way, it's kind of blended in. Okay, that is all we need for the marking of this front piece, and I've gone ahead to cut. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. Do not forget to turn on your notification bell. I'll be dropping the sewing tutorial for this video, and you wouldn't want to miss out. The cutting is very simple. I really hope you learned from it. There's one more thing to be done, so do not be quick to end the video. Okay, we still have to slant the shoulder, and I'll be using my back piece to do that. Look at how I used the back piece to do it in a very simplified method. Very simple. Okay, just stay tuned and you see how I did that. Can you see what I did there? Just carried my back piece and placed it, and I trimmed it out, and there you go. Then when I place it, you see that the back piece folds over. When it folds over to meet the front, it's exactly 3/4 inch, which replaces what we took out in the front piece. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.